Hi, everyone, and welcome to our second edition of our Fact Fridays here with University Housing. We have a couple students and guests that have made their way into our lobby for this week's edition. We thank you all for joining. We will get started here in just a second as we start rolling. A little bit about this session. We'll be going through some things from our side, and then we will open up the floor to questions from any students and guests that are a part of today's show. We're planning on having this Fact Friday be a weekly event to help students and guests that are interested in university housing to be a part of us. So we're going to start off, I guess, by introducing our team. So we're going to jump on our cameras here for just momentarily, and we'll jump back into our PowerPoint after that, which we hate to have to do PowerPoints and things like that, but it gives us a little bit of an easy way to just kind of progress through our presentation. So I'm going to hand it off with today's leader of our Fact Friday, which is going to be Sarah Lee. So Sarah Lee, if you want to jump in and get going, which apparently I've been muted this whole time. Sarah Lee, if you'd like to jump in and start us off. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Not sure if anybody can hear me. Hannah can hear me. All right, so we are apparently having a little bit of technical difficulties getting going today. We will see if we can get that going.
Hey everyone, can you guys see and hear me?
There we go.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know, it said it was unmuted. I did put headphones on, so maybe that helped.
Yep, you're good.
So my name's Sarah Lee. I'm the marketing coordinator for University Housing. So that's UTA Housing. I just want to begin with our agenda for today. So for starters, I want to share with you how to access UTA Housing online. So throughout this session, we'll be referencing our website. So that's uta.edu/housing, and we'll be repeating this over and over. Sorry if we get redundant. We're just doing this to ensure you know where to go to get all the information you need. And also, if you have any other questions after this FAQ Friday ends. So you could use this resource to access our full housing brochure, as well as our virtual tours, which is a walk through our facilities online. You could also go there for the housing application and so much more. So next I'll then go over the 5 most asked questions that we get for UTA Housing. These from both of our student and professional staff members were created based on their experience during housing tours or Maverick experience, which some of you may have been a part of. Then the next step in the agenda is once we get through that, which it won't take very long, then we'll open it up to you all so you could begin sending your questions. Again, we'll address questions from both the chat, or feel free to chime in at that point if you so desire to unmute your mic and ask away. We will stay on until everyone has had their questions answered. We are not in any rush. We are here to help you guys. So we'll go to the Access Online slide so you could get that website again. And let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to talk to you about our website and how to access everything you need. Again, at uta.edu/housing is where everything we're going to talk about can be found. You can access our website from both mobile, the computer, whatever device you prefer. Feel free to follow along with me if you want to go ahead and go to our website. Again, that's uta.edu/housing. So there are several different things you can access from our initial web page. From there, you can actually apply and submit an application. You could also access the live chat. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll be able to see a chat with us box. You'll click that button and then it'll take you to a live chat with us. Now that chat option is available 24/7. And as soon as we wake up in the morning and see those questions come in, we'll be always happy to answer any questions that come up. So hopefully that's clear. We're always here to help you. Also on our website is pricing information, the virtual tour pages, as well as our housing brochure. All of that is included on the main page.
I'm missing our next slide, Sarah Lee, so you can just jump into the next question, the questions once we get there.
Okay. So again, virtual tours, just kind of jumping in there. A big invite went out to all our guests who were not able to attend our on-campus tours, unfortunately, since the second week of March through at least June. We want to be sure that you'll be able to still see what you want to see and explore our housing options, because there are great options available at UTA. To view our virtual tours, you go to our website, uta.edu/housing. Halfway down the page, you'll see a giant banner that says virtual tours. You click that button and it'll take you to our virtual tours page. We want to walk through all our tours with you, so we made that option available. You can see most of our apartments as well as all of our residence halls on a recorded walkthrough. So it's kind of like having us there with you while you're going through the virtual tour. Again, if you have any questions about those, feel free to send us messages through the chat or our 24/7 chat online. You could also send us questions via emails, and our email is housing@uta.edu, so that should be pretty easy to remember. Okay, now our top 5 questions. Hope y'all are ready to jump in. So we've prepared 5 questions for everyone today. The first one is, when should I apply for housing? Followed by, what room types do I have? Third, what can I bring to campus when I move in? 4, which meal plan is best for me? And 5, are you required to live on campus? Once we get done with these, we'll then open up the session for you to ask questions and for us to answer the comments in the chat. I will go ahead and introduce you to everyone from housing here today to help with answering questions. So again, I'm Sarah Lee, yes, like the bread and the pies, if that helps you remember. I'm a marketing coordinator for housing, and I've been here just over 2 years now. Also here with me is Michael, and I'll let him introduce himself to you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Eldridge, and I am the Assistant Director for Marketing and Communications with Auxiliary Services. And Sarah Lee and I both work really directly together with one another for university housing and our marketing efforts across campus and for the student experience.
Yes, thank you, Michael. Okay, so we'll go ahead and jump into that first question.
You got to introduce Hannah. Hannah's here too.
Oh, she is? Awesome. Sorry. Hannah, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Hannah, and I am a housing ambassador for University Housing. I give housing tours when we are open. Unfortunately, right now we are still closed for housing tours, so that part of my job is not available to me right now, which I'm very sad about. But I also work at the housing front desk. So whenever you come into the University Housing office, I'll be there to help answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you so much, Hannah, for sharing too. So again, we have a student rep as well, so that's really awesome. All right, now we'll jump into that first question. So when should you apply for housing? Really, the answer to that question is when you apply to UTA. Our housing is based off the first come, first serve application system, and our housing does typically fill up in the fall. So when it comes to getting that place that you're really looking for, that location that you feel is best for you, and being able to get that rest hall or apartment, the earlier you apply to UTA and to UTA housing, the better. So as soon as you apply to UTA, you'll get your student ID as well as your net ID. Once you have those items, you could go ahead and go to our website and click on Apply Now. It is free to apply. You don't have to pay anything for the application. The only time you do have to put something down is after you've been accepted and are able to accept a contract. We do not we do have a $150 deposit. So other than that, we do not require you to pay for anything. It's only the deposit at the time you accept a contract. Hope that is clear. But yes, it is completely free to apply, and our application system is actually really easy to use. So it doesn't hurt to get your foot in the door and apply as soon as you can. That way you have a better chance in staying your preferred location. Now, as we do get through orientations, and they'll be coming up quickly, taking place online now, students will be applying at that time as part of the orientation, and our locations will fill up. So keep that in mind. Also, our residential learning communities will fill up quickly as well. We are just pointing this out to you because we want you to make sure we can get the best. Sorry, we want to make sure we could get the best option for you. So now we'll move on to the next question, and feel free to add in the chat if there's anything that wasn't clear. So what route types do you have? Really, the answer to that question is located in our housing brochure on our website. Again, you could download that from uta.edu/housing. There'll be a little button in the boxes that says view brochure, and you click that to download our housing brochure. Inside there, there'll be a page for residence hall as well as a page for apartments. And within that brochure, you'll find all our housing options, the floor plans, and pricing information. You mainly have two options within our residence halls for the room types. There's a double suite, which is where two roommates share one bedroom and a bathroom that's included within the suite. We don't have any communal bathrooms at UTA, so that's great. No fighting for a shower at the end of the hallway with the whole floor. It's all within your suite. This option is available, the double floor plan. The double floor plan suite at the majority of our residence hall locations. So Arlington, KC, Vandergrift, West, Lipscomb, all of that. Now for a more affordable option, Lipscomb Hall actually features a shared double suite. So that means there's 3 bedrooms with 2 roommates in each who share a bedroom, and then they share a common bathroom with the toilet and shower split up. We also have private suites available, so if you desire to have your own room, this is your best option. That way you get a little more privacy, but you still have the social aspect with the suite mates. In our private suites, so we have 3 bedrooms, and each one is one suite mate, and so altogether you have 3 suite mates who share a common living space, which is kind of like a living room. And then the bathroom is also split 3 ways from the toilet, sink, and showers to ensure things run smoothly. This option with the private suite is available at Arlington and KC Hall. Now, as for our apartments, we do have a wide range of room types and options. It goes from 1 bedroom, 1 bath, all the way up to 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and more. So your floor plans will vary by location. So I definitely recommend looking through the brochure or going online just to make sure you get the floor plan you want, because there is so many options available. We also offer both furnished and unfurnished apartments. So you have a wide variety of options to choose from. And again, our website for all this information is uta.edu/housing, just in case you're just coming in. So the next question, or actually before I get to that, this is a map of our campus, and you'll see where our different halls and apartments are located relative to the classes. So in blue, you'll see our apartment options, and in orange, you'll see our residence hall option. Now that is part of the brochure. So a lot of people like to utilize this to help narrow down where they want to live, because you could see based on, oh, that's a science building, I want to live closest to that, and you can kind of choose based on what is most convenient. Also, just if you're interested, like West Hall is our only residence hall on the west side of campus, and is located right next to our newest student center, as well as the MAC. So that the Maverick Activity Center is where like you could get your workout on. So that's really exciting. I definitely recommend also the Heights of Pecan for apartments. It's like a halfway point between a res hall and apartment because it's still furnished. It's on the east side of campus, kind of along the College Park district. It's probably closest to that. So that's where a lot of events and food is. So definitely some options there, but there's not a bad place to live on campus. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to what can you bring to campus when you move in. So first of all, I suggest do not bring anything that would essentially burn down the building. You can't have anything with an exposed heating surface like a candle, toaster, or coffee pot. You may, however, have a Keurig because it doesn't have an exposed heating surface. So you can use that for your morning brew. Also, feel free to add whatever homemade touches you like. I just advise that you please plan to use command strips if you want to put anything on the walls. That way you don't have to pay any fees for damaging the walls. Also, based on feedback from our students, they recommend you bring blackout curtains and rods so that you get to sleep in a little more without the sun disturbing you. Also, I would advise you bring a microwave or mini fridge. Now, it does depend on where you're living, the regulations for that, but if you and your roommate can decide to each get one of each and then share, that'll probably be the best use of your space and money. Now, furniture will be provided at your residence halls and the furnished apartments. In the res halls, you'll have an extra large twin bed, desk, dresser, and chair already included. If you want to bring your own furniture, I suggest living in an unfurnished apartment that you could furnish how you desire. Lastly, I would just like to add that on our website, uta.edu/housing, you can find the full list of items of what you can and cannot bring. Now I'll go ahead and let Michael take over for a little bit.
All right, thank you, Sarah Lee. So we are jumping into question number 4 for today. The next question that we get asked pretty often is, what is the best meal plan for me? And the best way to show our different meal plan options for living on campus is really showing you our chart. As Sarah Lee mentioned in her presentation so far, is that all of this information can be found on our website at uta.edu/housing. This insert right here is actually directly from our brochure that's available on the front of our website. And when you live on campus and you live in a residence hall, other than our students that are a part of Lipscomb Hall North, all of our students outside of that location are required to have a meal plan when they live on campus. We have 4 different meal plans that are available to students that live on campus, from platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. And really the biggest differences between these, obviously, when it comes to just how much you use them, how often you're going to be going to our dining halls, and 2 of our cafes on campus. We have Maverick Cafe and Connection Cafe that's located on each side of campus. Really comes down to how much you're going to use it. Do you eat breakfast? Are you a person that wants to stop by the UC and grab some pancakes and some waffles every morning? Or are you a person that just like kind of grab a Pop-Tart in the morning? And the reason we kind of ask those questions as we're talking to students is when you look between the bronze, the silver, and the platinum, the biggest differences between them are how many meal swipes you're going to have between each one. So our bronze is our kind of entry-level package when it comes to meal plans, while our platinum is a kind of our service all, gives you unlimited meal swipes per semester. And then a big question we get is between our platinum and gold, and what are the differences between those? Because there is a price difference between them, but they both say that they offer unlimited meal swipes per semester. The difference between those is the platinum works 7 days a week, while the gold only works during the weekdays, so Monday through Friday. You are able to use your gold meal plan for the dining dollars and College Park dollars. However, the platinum is the only one that has the unlimited meal swipes on the weekends. So when it comes to choosing what meal plan is best for you, we want to make sure we fit you with one that is going to give you the proper amount of meal swipes. It is based on average swipes per meal for a day. So the standard student obviously is going to eat 2 to 3 meals a day, and it just really comes down to how much you're going to be actively going into Maverick Cafe or Connection Cafe on campus. So we want to make sure we get you fitted with the right meal plan. For our students that have an apartment, or even some of our students that aren't sure if they're going to live on campus and they may end up commuting for a semester, we also have on-the-go meal plans, which could be shown here in the bottom. These could be loaded and reloaded throughout the semester. So we have different options for our commuter students and apartment students to be able to actually have a meal plan, be able to go to our dining halls, save a little bit of money in the process, and at the same time have the convenience of not having to log around your purse or your wallet and all that kind of stuff, and it just be available on your MyID card that you get when you come to your campus. So when it comes to getting the right meal plan, it's really all about kind of thinking about how many times you're going to want to dine in our services every day. And we want to make sure we get you fitted with the right meal plan. Question number 5 and the last one of our top 5 questions. So before I answer number 5, for all of you guys that are joining, make sure that if you have questions that you type it in our chat. We're going to go through and answer all of them. We will open up the floor to if anybody is brave and wants to get on the voice chat, they will absolutely free to do so and ask us any questions that you have. This is the best time to start getting those questions in so we can start running through them here in a few minutes. And again, like Sarah Lee mentioned, we are not going to just cut off. We're going to wait here and make sure we get all the questions answered for today's Fact Friday. So the 5th question, the last one that we kind of are going to walk through on is, are you required to live on campus? And the answer is no, you are not required to live on campus. UTA does have a healthy amount of students that commute to campus every day. We have a healthy amount of students that live with other friends and things like that around Arlington. And UTA does not have a problem with that. But the one thing we say about living on campus is there's a lot that you miss out on when you are not living on campus. I bring up an example, and I mentioned this last week. I graduated from UTA in 2011. And I was a student that did not live on campus, which people say that's crazy that the person in charge of marketing housing is not someone that lived on campus. But I can honestly say in my experience being a part of the university that I missed out on a lot by not being a person that lived on campus, because when I look back, I missed out on the block party, the Waffleopolis, a lot of the going to basketball games, just being a part of the campus community is a big one. Second thing that you miss out by not living on campus is convenience to UTA. As I mentioned, I was a student that commuted to UTA, and I fought 45 minutes to traffic to get here every day. And I fought to find a parking spot, which can be 15 to 20 more minutes if you kind of shark through the parking lot, play some of the Jaws music as you look for someone that's going to back out of their car. And that's just a very inconvenience. It's not fun. It's something that when I look back was a negative experience for me going to UTA, was driving to campus every day. So when it comes to the convenience, you can't beat just being able to go home between classes, to take a quick nap. You don't have to worry about setting your alarm really early and driving to campus and fighting through traffic. You just wake up, get ready, go to class, and you just have to walk a couple minutes and you're there. So the convenience is just hard to beat. And the last thing is the academic success. Here at UTA and really part of UTA Housing, we're not just about trying to get you to move in with us and then we're done. We make sure we take the steps to give you academic success. A part of our apartment and residence life group, they are all about having study sessions, exam prep, just getting hangouts to get together with students that are like yourself. We at UTA are really big on the success of students, and it shows with 90% of our students that stay with us, stay on track to graduate. So the national average when it comes to living at any campus, not just UTA, there is a higher graduation rate when you do live on campus. So when you keep that in mind and you're choosing if you're going to want to live at UTA or not, keep those things in mind for convenience, academic success, and just being able to have the experience of being a Maverick is the big things for me. So that's our top 5 questions. I am going to throw it back to Sarah Lee, who is going to lead us into now starting to take questions from everybody that's joined us. Again, thanks for joining us. We'll be doing these each Friday. So Sarah Lee, if you want to take it off, we can start helping out our students and possibly parents that have joined us today.
Hi, everyone. So yes, I'll go ahead and start with Leslie. She asked, when is the deadline to apply? So there's not an actual hard deadline with applications for housing. Like I said, it's first come, first serve, and it's basically the housing's available and it gets taken up by the first come, first serve. So sorry, to better explain, if anything gets full, then there will be a wait list after that point. So that's why we advise as soon as you can, go ahead and apply, just to ensure you have a better chance of getting something. I will say by the time June hits, there'll be very limited availability. So I definitely recommending if you kind of have an idea what you want, go ahead and applying for that. And you'll be able to list your preferences and hopefully you get that first pick that you want. Now, I also see that you asked if you apply for housing, but the pandemic extends to the fall, will you get your money back? It's really hard to say at this point. We're still learning every day and we're kind of adjusting and taking things day by day. and we're all kind of in the same boat there. But I'm sure if you have any concerns like that, feel free to email housing, voice your concerns, and we'll definitely get back to you as soon as we can. Michael, is there anything else you want to add for that?
I mean, I think you kind of said it right. We are taking it a little bit day by day. We have been proactive. We've been on the student side of things. So when it comes to students asking about what would happen potentially in the fall, I try to refer them to what our policies have been in the spring. I don't think there's anybody that's a part of the university that doesn't want to see students return to campus. But again, we don't know what that termination will be. Right now, the University of Texas system, which is who UTA obviously answers through, is confident that we'll be back on campus in some manner. But there may be changes to what campus looks like by that point too. And like Sarah Lee said, we're kind of taking it day by day, and we're taking it from the UTA perspective of what their guidelines are going to be. But we do refer to our students to what our policies have been during the spring. And then we just hope that when we get towards August and into the fall semester that we're as close to normal as whatever normal will be at that point.
Exactly. So Hannah, do you want to go ahead and help out Lillian with her question about choosing a roommate?
Yeah, of course, definitely. So the question is, can I still choose a roommate even though roommate matching has passed? As for choosing a specific roommate, it's kind of hard to right now, just because you wouldn't be able to, read the person's profile and kind of get to know them a little bit better. Whenever you select your room, you will be able to know if there is a person inside of that suite or not. So you can kind of get an idea if, someone is already in there or not. As for still being able to choose a roommate, I don't believe that is possible, but that is definitely a very good question to perhaps for an email, seeing if we can make an accommodation for that.
Yeah, and I can jump on top of that. So at this point, students are able to choose a roommate as long as they know who they're wanting to room with. Our roommate matching is still open, so as you apply, you still can get grouped to somebody. But if you already have somebody in mind, and that's really the big question we get from people is, I already have a friend I want to roommate with, or I already have somebody I want to room with. If you know who that is, you could put that information into our application portal and match together still. And if you're not able to get into that point and not able to find that information, which it could be that your applications are different, there's a lot of varying factors that could go into that. You can email us at housing@uta.edu and make sure you submit your student ID as well as the people that you would like to room with students ID. So this applies to our residence halls and to our by the bed apartments. If you know who you want to room with, make sure to email us, and it's going to be based on availability. So if we have the availability to make that pair or make that roommate match, then based on availability, we will be able to select you as roommates and be able to put you all together. Again, it is based on availability, and Sarah Lee mentioned earlier, we do fill up. So when it comes to applying and things like that, that's where it's really important to be applying early and to get that request into us as soon as possible for someone. We know that a lot of people will watch this during the week when we put it back up on our Facebook, and that's a big thing, is make sure you get the request in early. The earlier you get that request in, the better. When we start orientations, which are several hundred students a part of each orientation, we get a lot of applications based off those orientations, and we get a lot of those requests. So the sooner you get that request in for a roommate, the better it will be. So thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, thank you both. All right, so Cecilia asks, what are some good off-campus places to eat? Well, I think you got a good variety to choose from between on-campus and off-campus. And what's really nice about UTA is that we have a Map Mover system, so it's a bus system. And on the weekends, it takes you to like shopping centers and stuff. So if you don't have a car, you do have options to like go to the Highlands. So there's the mall nearby. So there's a food court there at the mall. There's a lot of restaurants in the Highlands, which is like an outdoor shopping center area. A lot of variety. Maybe Hannah want to add some more on that, since that's kind of like your day-to-day living experience.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is very important to know where the best places to eat are off of campus. My favorite places to eat off of campus are the ones that I can walk to. That way I don't have to get in my car and, find parking again when I get back. So right off of campus, we have this little place called iCafe. They have ramen and boba and bento boxes. I love to hang out there. They have really nice, quiet study areas there too. So that's a really great place to go. I also like Old School, which is a pizza joint, which is right across campus too. They have amazing cheese bread there. It's so good. I think I could eat like an entire one just by myself. It's that good. We also have Twisted Root Burger, which is very close to campus as well. That is a burger place. They have gigantic burgers. You have to go like on an empty stomach to fit like this entire burger into you because like that is that big. They also have shakes. And those shakes are so good. Oh my goodness. It's like you're like rolling out of that restaurant whenever you're done at Twisted Root. So those are my favorite places to eat off of campus. They're super close and it's really good food.
I think that one thing about UTA and where it's located is that there is so many food options on campus and away from campus. The on-campus options, we have Chick-fil-A, Panda, Subway, Moe's, Panera Bread, Pie 5. There's burger places, there's dessert places, there's 2 cafes, there's really a Starbucks in just about every building, it feels like. There's a couple of Starbucks on campus. And Einstein Bagels, and it's just one of those things where there's options to eat both in and around campus. For someone, anytime you walk through the UC, you immediately smell Chick-fil-A. I'm a Chick-fil-A person. They get a lot of my money every single day. But when it comes to eating on campus and off campus, there's so many options in the Arlington area and around UTA as well.
Thank you both for chiming in with that. So Andy asked, will I have access to my residence hall room during the holidays and breaks? So it depends on where you're living. So some of our locations do have like the winter and summer session. The majority don't. So we have winter move out. So you won't be able to like go in. But I'll let Hannah kind of explain that process a little more. She's a little more hands-on with that.
Yeah, definitely. So that's right. We do have a couple of places that are open during the summer and winter breaks. You don't necessarily have to be living there during the semesters to be able to secure a spot for yourself during the winter or the summer if you don't have anywhere else to go. As for other breaks, we like Thanksgiving break and spring break, you're not required to leave the residence hall or your apartment. Apartments are leased year-round, so you can stay in those even over summer and winter break. As for our residence halls over winter break, if you're not planning on staying on campus, then yes, you will have to leave the residence hall. However, you can keep a lot of your stuff still in your room, so you can keep all of your bedding, your decorations, anything that you want, you can leave inside of your room. You just got to take the essentials like some clothes, your medicine, and a fish if you have it. As for being able to stay on campus over the winter and summer breaks, you can definitely apply to do that. I believe Lipscomb Hall is open for the winter and summer breaks. Again, you just have to apply online at uta.edu/housing. Through the same housing portal as normal, you'll just apply for the winter and the summer sessions.
Thank you, Hannah. So Fatima asked, for gold meal plans, I don't have the meal slides for the weekend, correct? So Michael, you want to elaborate on that since you were kind of explaining the meal plans?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Fatima was someone that was actually part of last week's Fact Friday as well. So thank you for joining us once again, assuming this is the same one. But the gold meal plan does not work on Saturdays and Sundays for meal swipes. It does work for College Park dollars and dining dollars, but the unlimited meal swipes do not work on the weekends. So if you are looking to be somebody that is dining on campus during the weekends, going to Maverick Cafe and Connection Cafe to use meal swipes, that's when we would suggest the Platinum meal plan, just because the gold will not work on Saturday and Sunday. But that's a really good question, and I know it's something that a lot of students get confused about when it comes to the differences between those meal plans. But the best way to explain it: gold not good for Saturdays and Sundays. Platinum is 7 days of the week.
Great. So I hope that answered your question, Fatima, and welcome back, like Michael said. And yes, to answer your next part of the question, silver does work on the weekends as well as bronze. Good questions. I know dining is a little complicated, and if you have any further questions on that, there is a site specifically for dining. So it'll be Dine UTA, and you can type that up in the search at the UTA website, so uta.edu, or just look at dine.uta.com. Sorry, lost my spot. Let's see, do we have, Lillian asked if we have any curfews or things like that, times that they have to be back in their residence halls. I know for sure we have like quiet hours and study hours. So there are times that they'll regulate like by finals and midterms just to ensure like a little more quiet. Hannah, do you want to elaborate on your experience with that, and just in case there's been any one-off things and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't have any curfews. You don't have to be back inside of the residence hall at any certain time. As long as you have your student ID, you can swipe back into the building. That's not a problem. So you won't have to worry about getting locked out at 2 a.m. As for quiet hours, we do have quiet hours every day starting at, I believe it is at 10 p.m. After 10 p.m., people are requested to keep noise to a minimum so people can go to sleep or to study at night. So an RA can come to your room if you're being too loud after 10 o'clock and ask you to quiet down. As for finals goes, yes, there is a week-long process of quiet hours where it's 24 quiet hours for that entire week of finals. And that's just to help everybody through that stressful time, being able to study and being able to get enough sleep. But yeah, that's how quiet hours work.
Thank you, Hannah. And yes, so just make sure you don't lose your student ID card. That will come in very handy. Next is Leslie with our sorority and fraternities under UTA Housing. So they are actually separate. They have their own kind of houses on Greek Row. But if you want more details on that, I would go to our website and look up the sorority and fraternities for more details on how they get into that when you're involved with those. Michael, is there anything you want to add that might be further information that I'm not aware of?
No, that actually pretty close to it. So fraternity and sorority life is separate of university housing. They do have their own area campus. It's a great organization to be a part of. I know there's a lot of students that I've worked directly with that have been a part of those organizations too. A thing about joining those organizations, when you do come to UTA, they will have what's called Rush Week, which is essentially your chance to be a part of fraternity or sorority at UTA. But there's a lot of great ones to be a part of, and it is something that is separate of university housing. But yep, you pretty much covered everything you need to know on that one.
Cool. Cecilia asks, are we allowed to have a bike on campus? Yes, it is really nice that UTA allows you. In fact, a lot of students utilize that to get around. You'll see tons of bike racks all over, so it'll be easy for you to go to class. We even have bike racks by our residence hall, so if you want it right by where you're living, definitely recommend using that resource. So good question. It definitely shares about your living experience after you come in. What else do we have? So Andy asked about the Math Mover, a little more information on that. So yeah, so that is like our shuttle system. We call it the Math Mover. So it's a bus. It's included in your tuition actually. And so you could use that day to day. So not just for going to places off campus, but actually to get around campus as well. So you could use that. If you don't feel like walking to your residence hall or apartment from class, you can go ahead and take the Math Mover. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to get around campus, but depending on the day, some days are slower than others. But it's definitely great to use, like if it's raining or the weather's not too great or you're just cold. I would just kind of plan ahead to be there a little early. There's actually an app that you could use to kind of see the shuttle routes, and basically we have like black, blue, so different routes, and it goes to different places. So I definitely would download the app. Sorry, I'm blanking on the name right now. Michael, do you know the name?
What was the app?
For the shuttle.
Through the parking services. Oh, I don't have the app name on my
I have
phone.
it. It's called Double Map.
Thank you. I'm like, it starts with a D.
I use it like 3 or 4 times a week, and I don't even remember the name.
Yeah, I recognize the picture. But yeah, so double map in case you missed that. So you would use that to get around campus a lot. Good question. All right. Lillian asked, can we use dining dollars on the weekend? Michael, you want to go back to dining?
Yeah, so I guess I'm the dining expert here today. The dining dollars and college park dollars all can be used across campus on the weekends. It doesn't matter which meal plan you have, they can be used. But keep in mind that not all of the locations have full hours on the weekends. So there are select locations that do not open on weekends, depending on the time of the year. Some open, some do not open during the summer. So you want to make sure you keep up with dining services and check out their website. Like Sarah Lee's been saying, check out their application. They have an app too that has all the dining hours and things like that. But yes, the college park dollars and dining dollars can be used on the weekends. You just have to make sure that you keep up with their hours and things like that. Locations like Panera and Pie Five typically do stay open during the weekends, but some of the locations inside the University Center, some of the Einstein Bagels, some of the Starbucks do not open all the time during the weekends or have special hours that are different than weekdays. But that's a really good question. That's something that not a lot of people think about.
Thank you, Michael. So is there anything we missed or anyone want to voice in, take their mic off and ask questions that way? We'd be more than happy to answer if there's anything else you guys have for us.
I need to have the elevator music ready for this point, but it's just never.
Or crickets.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's everything. We just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. We do plan to continue with our FAQ Fridays. Do check your email and our social just in case we do change the time. We're not necessarily hard set on 1 p.m. every week, but we'll definitely notify you if it's changing. But yeah, thank you for coming in. And if you think of any other questions, feel free to use our chat system online, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Hope you all have a great afternoon.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Sarah Lee.
Bye, thank you.